It'll be fine. She won't notice anything. You're right. That kid is clueless. Let's enjoy this while we can. I've been holding back from her just for this day. It was during a midnight at our hot spring trip, when I woke up and went to the private open-air bath in the changing room. Peeking in because I heard voices, I saw my husband and sister getting intimate. Seeing that scene, I sat down right there, overwhelmed by intense nausea. I won't let this end here. I resolved, tears welling up in my eyes. I quickly switched my phone to video recording mode. I was determined to record everything they were doing. I wonder what she'd think if she saw us now. Hey, don't say such things. More importantly. Wait, hold on a second. Their voices echoed in the open-air bath. I wanted to cover my ears right away but held back and continued recording. But are you sure she won't wake up? Don't worry. I prepared for this day. Plus, I used that, so. Oh, right. Clever as always. Then we can stay here a bit longer. I hadn't thought they'd be this calculating. I wouldn't rest until I made them see hell. Then, an idea struck me. Don't think you'll lead a decent life after this. Enjoy it while you can. I collected their clothes and returned to the room. Wake up. I woke up the sleeping relatives and waited for the two with full readiness. Suppressing my raging emotions, I waited for them. What was about to unfold was a shameful show, too embarrassing to live through. My name is Natalie. I work at a small bookstore. I'm 35 years old now, but got married to Luke when I was 28. Our meeting was a bit strange. We had a mutual friend, who was supposed to introduce us to different people. Considering my age and thinking about marriage, I agreed to meet someone based on my friend's suggestion. I'm Natalie. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Huh? The meeting place was in front of the station, but a man different from the one in the photo I had received showed up. It was Luke. Moreover, Luke also didn't expect me to be his date. Since we're here, how about having dinner? Sounds good. There's a nice restaurant nearby. To be honest, he wasn't my type. Maybe Luke felt the same way. I just wanted to have the meal and go home quickly. But when we actually started talking, we hit it off, surprisingly. I never thought I'd meet someone else who likes the same author as me. It's a pretty obscure author. You're the first person I've met who likes them. Me too. After a few dinners together, we started dating. The friend who caused this mix-up apologized, but I thanked them instead. They probably didn't expect things to turn out this way. And then we got to the point of deciding to get married. Are you nervous? Of course I am. That day, we were going to greet my parents. When we arrived at my childhood home, someone I didn't want to see was there. Isn't that Natalie? Is he your boyfriend? Why are you here? Well, I just got divorced again. Again? I couldn't help but exclaim. Luke was also surprised by my reaction. We didn't get along. But look at him, he's a good catch. Why don't you dump Natalie and marry me instead? Hey. Just kidding. Don't be so mad. My sister Angela had been divorced twice, including this time. After that, we greeted my parents. And as we were about to leave. Would you like to exchange contact information? Huh? All right, I guess. I agreed, not wanting to have much to do with my sister. Little did I know it would lead to such an ending. After greeting my parents, Luke and I submitted our marriage certificate on my birthday, a week later. Until then, we had been living together at my place, but now it was finally moving day to our new home. I'm ready on my end, how about you? Just a bit more. What? The movers will be here soon. I'll finish up quickly. That's when I first realized how messy Luke could be. When we were dating, we moved in together quite early, and I ended up doing a lot of things for him. I never imagined it would be this bad. In the end, I helped him, and we barely finished packing in time. I couldn't help but wonder if we could really make it work. Upon arriving at our new home, he said, "Sorry about earlier. I found a book I wanted to read." Well, I understand wanting to read, but please be more careful next time. I will. But Luke's attitude never changed. He started making more excuses. And he wouldn't do anything unless I nagged him. Moreover, he wouldn't even manage the finances, and I had to put money in the account for our monthly payments. You didn't put money in the account again, did you? Ah, I forgot. He was absorbed in his book, not even looking at me. Are you even listening? I am. I was getting irritated with Luke's attitude. Then I noticed something. Did you have that book before? A regular person might not have noticed, but being a book lover, I caught sight of it. Oh, this? I borrowed it from a friend. They recommended it. But still, you need to handle your responsibilities from next month. Luke sighed, closed his book, and looked at me. I'm busy with work too. If you're going to complain so much, why don't you do everything yourself? It'll save you the irritation. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then Luke started saying something even more outrageous. If that happens, it'll be you who pays, not me. So, you should provide the money. Why would it work that way? We're a married couple, it's normal to support each other, right? Anyway, I'm counting on you. Saying that, Luke opened his book again and resumed reading. I was speechless with disbelief. Just 4 months into our marriage, we were far from happy. Then came our first Obon festival since getting married. The day after tomorrow is Thanksgiving, you can come too, right, Luke? Yeah, huh? Where to? What do you mean where? I told you before. This year we're getting together at my parents' place. Oh right, you might have mentioned that. He seemed so detached. We're leaving the morning after tomorrow, so be ready. It was as I was about to go back to my room. I'm not going. I don't want to. What? It's a hassle. I'll just stay home. What are you talking about? It's none of my business. You go ahead. My fists clenched automatically. Could I really expect anything from Luke? In the end, I didn't push it and decided to go back home alone. Well, I'm leaving then. Take care of the house, okay? I'm not planning to go out anyway. So I left the house. Honestly, I thought it was easier if he just stayed in, rather than going out and causing trouble. And then it hit me. Are we really a couple? Before I knew it, I had reached my parents' house. I'm home. Welcome back. I had completely forgotten. My sister was at this house. It was my parents' decision to keep an eye on her. I hurried to my room to avoid unnecessary entanglement. Where's Luke? Oh, he's a bit busy with work. I lied on the spot. I thought she would stir up trouble if I told her the truth. Really? What do you mean? I just wondered if it's really work. I thought she was too perceptive. To prevent any slip-ups, I changed the subject. By the way, Angela, Dad told me you recently got a boyfriend. He seemed to sigh about it. Yeah, that's right. He's younger and cute. I thought I had asked too much. Then Angela started her monologue. And at the end, she said something intriguing. He also loves books, just like me. Really? I casually brushed it off at that moment, but then I remembered. It was Angela's influence that made me love books and work at a bookstore. That's the only thing I'm thankful to her for. Grandpa's memorial service ended without incident, and it was time to go back. Say hi to Luke for me. Yeah, sure. Then a big change occurred. About a year after getting married, during a family gathering at New Year's, Angela made a sudden proposal. How about we all go to a spa this long weekend? Maybe an overnight trip? Our parents looked at each other, wondering what to do. But there was one person who was unusually excited. That sounds great. Let's all go. I hadn't seen Luke so lively in a long time. Since we hadn't really gone on any trips since getting married, he probably agreed with Angela's suggestion. Mom and Dad are okay with it, right? Yes. Yeah, sure. Our parents were persuaded by Angela. So Angela, Luke, and I started planning together. Let's get started then. I'm counting on you, Luke. Leave it to me. And you too, Natalie. Then Angela began visiting our house more often under the pretext of planning. Thinking about what she was doing behind my back makes me furious. We started preparing for the trip a month later. It was going to be us, our parents, and some close relatives. Getting accommodation for so many people might be tough. It'll be fine. Luke was unusually enthusiastic. You're that excited about the trip? Trip? Oh, yeah, of course, I am. Okay then. The doorbell rang while we were talking. I wasn't expecting any visitors today. When I checked the monitor, there was Angela. I quickly went to the door. Why are you here? Huh? Didn't you hear? I came for the trip planning today. I didn't know about that. Well, let me in for now. She had visited before, but each time she seemed less and less reserved. In the living room, Angela and Luke were already engrossed in travel magazines. This seemed odd to me. Wait a minute. What's up? No, first explain today. It's hard to follow if you just go ahead. Angela and Luke exchanged looks. With an expression of what are you talking about? That's right, I forgot to tell Angela called. You forgot? Angela intervened. It's okay. He just forgot. Don't be so uptight. Sorry about that. Luke's apologizing, so let's just get on with the discussion. Somehow, I felt like the bad guy. I felt like an outsider in my own home. From then on, Angela started coming over every 3 days until the trip. It was overwhelming. Eventually, most of the trip planning was decided by just the two of them. Finally, the day of the trip arrived. We were supposed to meet at the station and travel by bullet train with the whole family. While I was enjoying catching up with relatives, I noticed Angela and Luke were missing. Where are Luke and Angela? Huh? They were here just a moment ago. They returned about 10 minutes later. They looked like a couple. Amidst the strange commotion, our trip began. Luke, where are you going? Oh, I'm actually going around with Angela. With Angela? Yeah, I've been here before, so she asked me to show her around. Hearing this, the trip I was looking forward to suddenly lost its appeal. Then you two have fun. It's a good opportunity. Okay, I'll go then. Saying that, Luke ran off. I couldn't remember the last time I saw him smile like that when he was with me. That night, I tried to forget the day's events by drinking a lot of beer, which made me unusually sleepy. Come on, let's go back to the room and rest. You drank too much. I'm fine. Come on, let's go back to the room and rest. I remember being led back to the room by Luke from the restaurant. However, my memory from there is hazy. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I was alone in the room. Staggering up, I headed to the open-air bath to sober up. It's okay. She won't notice. You're right. She's clueless anyway. Let's enjoy this moment. I've been holding back from doing it with her just for this day. As I entered the changing area, I noticed something was off. I heard voices. It was supposed to be reserved, so it had to be family or someone. There were Luke and Angela, getting cozy. The sight made me sit down and feel violently nauseous. Did you hear something? Everyone's asleep. It must be your imagination. Right. I won't let this go. I'm determined. Tears filled my eyes as I decided. I switched my phone to video recording mode. I was determined to record everything they were doing. Their unbearable conversation reached my ears. What would she think if she saw us now? Don't jinx it. Besides. Wait a sec. Their voices echoed in the open-air bath. I wanted to cover my ears but forced myself to keep recording. But is she really not going to wake up? It's fine. I've prepared for this day, and besides, I used that. That's right. You're amazing. So, we can stay a bit longer? I couldn't believe how calculated they were. I was curious about what Angela meant by that, but I had more pressing matters. I can't rest until I show those two the help they deserve. Then, an idea struck me. Thinking they can lead a normal life after this? They'd better enjoy while they can. I gathered all their clothes left in the changing room and casually returned to my room. Hey, wake up! I roused all the sleeping relatives in another room, asking them to gather in ours. What's going on at this hour? Why is everyone here? I have something very important to discuss, so please be ready to listen. I said, looking around at the relatives. Important matter? By the way, I don't see Luke and Angela. I played the video I recorded in the open-air bath. The room filled with their conversation and sounds. Natalie, what is this about? Just watch the phone. Everyone's attention was on the smartphone. This is. Can't believe those two. Everyone let out almost scream-like voices. Now you see? They used this trip for their purpose. But what do we do now? I have a plan. I told the relatives. We all waited for the two to return. My anger simmering, anticipating their arrival. It would be a show too shameful to live down. 30 minutes later. They returned wrapped in bath towels. What's this? Natalie, you're awake! They had nowhere to run. Plus, they were almost naked. They couldn't do anything even if they left this room. Then my father took the lead. Both of you, sit down here. Wait, Dad, let us get dressed first. But Dad dismissed Angela's suggestion. No need for that. Just sit down and be quiet. Dad's face was like a demon, something I had never seen before. Intimidated by the situation, Luke and Angela obediently sat down on their knees. Natalie, play the video. Yeah. I played the video. Nothing would be more embarrassing than to see our own actions under public scrutiny. What's this, I wonder? I asked, suppressing my rage with a gentle voice. The two were visibly trembling. Probably terrified of what was coming. You've been silent long enough. I prompted. Luke was the first to break the silence. It was just a moment of weakness. Please forgive me, Natalie. He pleaded, his bath towel slipping off, revealing his nakedness as he lay face down. A moment of weakness, huh? But this isn't the first time, is it? No use hiding it now. I was approached right after we got married. I have a book to lend you, she said. That's when it hit me. The unfamiliar book he had was from Angela. And after that? After that we went to have a dinner. Luke stammered, unable to speak fluently. His behavior only confirmed my disappointment in him. Just spit it out. Then, we went to a hotel. He finally confessed. Not that it changed my decision to forgive him. So, this is an affair, right? How do you plan to take responsibility? I don't know. Next, I confronted Angela. And you, Angela, how could you do something like this? It's so embarrassing that the naked woman in front of me is my sister. Angela, who had been silent, suddenly lashed out. I don't want to hear it from you, boring, ugly, always buried in books. Her true feelings, it seemed. Honestly, I had had enough of her torment over the years. Now it was my turn. You're brave, but do you realize your current situation? What are you trying to say? We're surrounded by close relatives, some in responsible positions. What are you planning? Well, living a normal life might not be an option anymore. You're unbelievable. Angela shot me a hateful glare. But I had no intention of holding back against her any longer. It seemed our parents had also reached their limit with her arrogant attitude. I'm ashamed to say she's our eldest daughter. Having divorced twice was already a headache. We kept you at home to keep an eye on you, but it's clear that's not working. Frankly, we don't want a daughter who brings us such shame. I had asked them to say something like this beforehand. They were simply carrying out the plan. Are you saying you're going to kick me out of the house? It's not just that. We're also cutting ties with you. If that happened, you'd have nothing left. What? That means you won't inherit anything from us. You'll be a stranger. But just because you disown me doesn't mean I lose my inheritance rights. She was technically right. Just declaring disownment wouldn't change anything legally. But I had already thought of that. That's true. So we've decided to include it in our wills. Everything will be inherited by Natalie. Angela stood there, her mouth agape, frozen in shock. It's a shame, but you should give up. If not for this, you might have inherited our extensive lands. Our family's home is a generational farm with lands in various places. You're kidding, right? Tell me you're kidding. There's nothing we can do now. We all just discussed and decided on it. All the relatives present nodded in agreement. And don't think this is the end. You'll have to face the consequences of your affair. And Luke, too. What? Obviously, I can't live with a husband who had an affair with my sister. That means... Yes, we're getting a divorce. Oh, no. Luke buried his face in his hands and began to cry. Then, I had one last question for Angela. Angela, what was that thing you mentioned in the bath? Check my bag, and you'll understand. I searched her bag and found a small packet. It was a sleeping pill. They were prescribed to someone other than Angela. Angela must have asked someone she knew to obtain the sleeping pills for her. Did you plan to drug everyone? No, only Natalie. That explains why I felt so sick. I realized. Then, an idea struck me. Why don't you try this? Have a taste. What are you saying? It's nothing strange. You gave them to me, after all. I made them take the sleeping pills. Soon, without any resistance, both succumbed to sleep. Is this really okay, Natalie? Don't worry, Dad. I've heard of this medicine before. Okay, then. I remembered reading about this exact medication in a book. Without such knowledge, I wouldn't have dared such a reckless act. If Angela hadn't mentioned it in the open-air bath, I might never have noticed its existence. I felt lucky in that sense. As morning arrived. This is what we'll do, right? Yes. Let's go back home. We left Luke and Angela behind at the inn. I wondered what they would think when they woke up. The thought made me want to laugh. Upon reaching home, I quickly packed only the essentials. I was about to leave for a hotel when I received a call. Hello, where are you now? At home. What? It was from Angela. Angela must have been shocked to find everyone gone when she woke up. Oh, and you'll need to pay for the stay. Why should I have to? Do you think you're in any position to say that? Our roles had reversed. Well, if you don't like it, that's fine. But who knows what might happen? I warned her before she hung up. She probably called to complain but got scared off. The hardest part was yet to come. Dealing with the fallout of the affair, the disownment, and the impending events. Just thinking about it cleared my mind. Hi, Luke. I had one last thing to do. I called Luke. I'm in a bit of a mess right now. That's your problem, not mine anymore. Don't say that, Natalie. There's no way I'm returning to that house again. It's over. We can just mail the divorce papers, right? Please give me another chance. His selfishness was astounding. I could only be stunned. I'm done, Luke. You should just move on with Angela. Goodbye. I said firmly, cutting the call and setting my phone to block his number. Leaving the house, I immediately obtained divorce papers and headed straight to a lawyer's office recommended by my father. I wanted to close this chapter as quickly as possible. Thanks to my prompt action, the divorce was finalized within 2 weeks. The other day, Angela left. Yeah, but I think it's for the best. Indeed. Recently, I heard through mutual friends that Luke and Angela had started living together. They were probably licking each other's wounds, both of them now on the same boat. I also heard that Angela had been fired from her job after the incident got out. This outcome was precisely what I had anticipated. A normal life will probably be impossible for them now. Not that it concerns me anymore. As for me, I continued to be surrounded by books, my greatest passion. The only changes in my life were my newfound solitude and the start of writing my novel. Its central theme is family. I decided to embrace my freedom and live life on my own terms.